Hi Taurus, welcome to your December 2018 Tarot and Astrology reading. How are you doing? I'm going to talk for a little bit about the 8th house because that's where the sun is for you. Mercury was retrograding in that area. Jupiter is in that area for the next year. I want to talk about 8th house energy because for a lot of people it can make you feel uncomfortable, it can make you feel unnecessarily anxious. It's a very misunderstood house, much as Scorpio can sometimes be a very misunderstood sign, okay? The 8th house is very much to do with the house of taboo topics such as occult, death, sex even. You know, how it is interacted with in the media, how it is interacted with by society, how society views things. This is not to say we were living in a very different culture than we were maybe 30 years ago. Maybe 50 years ago when the sexual revolution took place, but there's still a lot of questions in society of the relationship between women and sexuality, the relationship between how a woman presents herself and what that necessarily means. And it's frustrating for people. Jupiter was Jupiter was retrograding for a while in Scorpio earlier on in the year, but the occupation of that sign in particular, Jupiter being expansive and Jupiter being honest, it brought a lot of things to light. It brought a lot of cases to light, sexual assault cases. It brought the Me Too movement. And Taurus, without giving you too much responsibility, it's going to be the Taurus personalities that sort of pick up the torch on that, pick up the gauntlet, the boxing gloves to sort out those type of issues. Taurus people are going to be at the forefront of these human rights debates, of these women's movement debates. Taurus is taking over with Jupiter in that side of the sky. Of course, it's everyone's duty, but for you, the relationship between these sort of topics, be it sex, be it death, be it the occult, it's very much speaking to you, particularly this month with the Sun and Jupiter aligning in a conjunction. It is important that we sort of, you being Venus ruled Taurus, the feminine is so very important to Taurus people. And this house is all about death and rebirth. And you think about how sometimes in life when we have disappointments, when we have unfortunate events, a part of us dies off so that a new part can be reborn. You think of the relationships that you've had to leave behind in order for something new to emerge. And oftentimes as fixed energy Taurus, you can hold on for things that little bit too long at your own detriment because it's hard. I'm a fellow fixed sign, I get that. It's sometimes hard to get that closure, you know? Some signs don't need closure. It's funny. You can deal, I've seen Capricorns in particular be able to hold the door open for people. Pisces be able to hold the door open for people and still move forward. But what part of your life needs to be let go, Taurus, under this 8th house transit? What do you need to release in order to be born again? What is it that really speaks to you as something that's held you back? Was it in your childhood? Is it a pattern of relationships? Again, the number 8. Can't even pick it up with my nails. The 8 of Swords, feeling trapped. I want to look at this card for a second because I want to address this. There's so many good things coming up for Taurus. I promise. But I don't want anything to hold you back either. I don't want you to be the girl in this card, Taurus. Not this month. Not when you have so much importance attached to you. Because you are important. You have a lot of ways in which you're going to shape your life and a lot of ways in which you're going to shape your world. And I don't want you to lose sight of that bigger picture. You're not defined by your past. You're not defined by your mistakes. And you're not defined at all at other people's definitions of you. You may have felt isolated. You may have felt imprisoned in your own body, in your own mind. Imprisoned by circumstances. Imprisoned by definitions. Somebody rejected you. If somebody looked over you, somebody passed over you, does not define what you have to offer. It just means that's not your person. You don't have to be stuck where you've been, Taurus. You don't have to be the person that you were a year ago, a month ago, 5 minutes ago. You don't have to be if you don't want to be. You're fixed energy, but you can still transform. This is the beauty of 8th house energy for you because you're a fixed sign. When the 8th house energy is there for a fixed sign person, it is when they make the most movement. It's when they make the most progress. It's when they feel the most refreshed and the least inhibited. You're making moves, Taurus. This is your month to really shed the dead wood. It's your month to really let go of this person that you never quite understood why they were there, sort of, but not really. You know, those people that were sort of interested one minute and not the next, that's hard for a Taurus. Those people that rejected you, but there seemed to be a connection. See, he's looking at the cup, but he's not taking it. Here's the cup. You were offering somebody something, they didn't take it. Maybe someone offered you something, you weren't ready to take it. Tell me, Taurus, if you rejected someone who was lovely, do you feel like that defines them? Do you feel like your rejection would define them as a person? Probably not. Somebody rejected you. You were overlooked in an opportunity. Do you think that really defines who you are as a person? Does that define where you're going to be in the next year, the next 3 years, the next 5, the next 10? Nope. 3 of Cups. There's a lot to celebrate this month. Well, 'tis the season. 10 of Pentacles. Money, money, money. The Hermit. Knight of Wands. Knight of Pentacles, sorry. And the 2 of Swords. Knight of Cups. Don't be resisting this opportunity. You have choices. Possibly too many. The Hermit means that you want, in some ways, to look within and find an answer. You want a closure, I think, Taurus. You want an answer. You want something that you can mull over and understand. That's what the Hermit is. He goes in for answers. He takes some time out to go deeper into the cave and try and find what others can't find. He's the investigator. 8th house energy. Scorpio energy. Finding out the truth. Seeking the truth, and it sets you free. Soul searching. Do you know what's interesting, that this spread actually reminds me of that Train song, Drops of Jupiter, you know, with Jupiter and Scorpio in the 8th house. Now that she's back from that soul vacation, tracing her way through the constellation. I think that might be how somebody feels about you within this year. If you're single, someone's going to come into your life who's going to feel that way about you. You know, that song. The man singing the song says he's worried that she's going to think of him as some sort of plain old Jane who was too afraid to fly, so he never could land. Something has held you back for a bit too long, Taurus. Something that you had no answers on. It actually could have been a fellow earth sign. I'm thinking Virgo for a lot of people, but it could have been a Capricorn, or it could have been somebody who just, because this is a Knight of Pentacles and that's your energy, could be that you're getting in your own way, or someone that you thought was very like-minded. We also have water signs, Scorpio, Pisces, Taurus. No, it's Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Whoosh. Sorry, Taurus. Somebody that was a friend, somebody that you met through mutual friends. There's a romantic interest here that's very special, but something about your past, something about your childhood. The reunions of Christmas time is making you feel nostalgic. Maybe you're running into an ex that you're not over. Maybe you are reminiscing of Christmases gone by. Maybe you're afraid of repeating the same mistakes, but there's love here, especially if you're single. If you're still in a romantic relationship, there is something in you that you just feel a little bit disconnected from the outside world because of. So you're trying to go through this revealing catharsis. And the Hermit energy actually is very much to do with being self-aware and using your own internal guidance system to make you consider things. You might feel like you need a little bit more. You may feel like you need a little bit more in your relationships. The 8th house is a mutually beneficial house. What other people give you and you give back. Especially financially. Some of you guys have started a new job and have a lot of energy there. You're devoting a lot of energy there. Maybe your friends are wondering where you are. Maybe your partner's wondering where you are. Maybe you're just comfortable doing your own thing. But I don't believe that, because the 2 of Swords is sort of suggesting to me fear. And the 9 of Swords just confirmed that. Something's keeping you up at night. You're anxious over something. 7 of Cups. Indecisive indeed. The High Priestess. You are doing a lot of soul searching, especially on the occult. You feel like you have a job to do. Ace of Wands, as I said, the torch is being passed to you. It's like a burden. 9 of Wands, don't give up. And underneath we have the 5 of Pentacles. Scorpio season for you, Taurus, made you comfortable in the dark. Made you comfortable of your own darkness. It made you comfortable around the darkness of other people. It made you that little bit more self-aware of how dark romance can actually be and how there is always a light and a dark to things. The High Priestess has come out for just about every sign, I kid you not. For you, it's in the positive position, which is glorious. It means you're listening to your intuition. Your inner guidance system is not steering you wrong, Taurus, but you're aware that there is something that needs to be addressed. Could be in work. You could be anxious around the people you work with. You could feel inadequate around your peers for some reason. It may be that it's because, ironically, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know, and it's making you hungry for knowledge. It's making you hungry for answers. It's making you inquisitive in a way that is really very attractive to other people. But you're also hyper aware of the fact that other people have some of the answers that you don't, and sometimes that can result in making you feel paranoid, unworthy, or it makes you just that 10 times more determined to get those answers. For a lot of you, it's exams. For a lot of you, it is work. You're burying yourself into knowledge. For a lot of Taurus, as I say, the last couple of months, it's been coming up that astrology and things like that is very important to you. So some of you are definitely learning more about it. And you're finding yourself in a way that you've not before, because the High Priestess is inner illumination. It reveals parts of ourselves that we're not completely aware of, and that will continuously happen through your life, especially every December. But the more you listen to your intuition, the more accurate it's becoming. But that doesn't mean you have to sacrifice anything, Taurus. Not really. You will sacrifice the relationships that you know aren't right for you. You will sacrifice the relationships which are holding you back and not letting you progress. The people whose ideals do not align with you. Someone may reveal themselves as being a certain type of person that you just don't feel comfortable growing with. They might have a different value system. They might be ignorant of something. And you can forgive them for being ignorant, but it doesn't mean you have to associate with that person if you feel like their views, their opinions pull you down and make you feel suffocated because you just don't understand the way they present it or the humanity behind it. There's a very human touch to this, actually, Taurus. It's like you're fighting other people's corner. You're trying to find answers to benefit other people, and it's a battle here. And you may at times feel like you're fighting for something bigger, and this could be in your romantic relationships too. You're fighting for something bigger, something just, and you feel like you're not being listened to. You feel like you're not being understood. I know this is quite deep, but that's what 8th house energy is. You're sort of cast into this important part of December whereby you can make a difference, and you're becoming increasingly aware that other people's pettiness is holding you back. Pettiness, that's amazing. The Page of Swords just popped out. Well, that's that then. Who are these petty people? Gossipy, drama people, wanting to get in your business, wanting to talk about you as if they know you, wanting to put you down, wanting to pretend that they know all your secrets when they don't know anything about you. People who have certain activity online that you just don't understand. You feel like you don't know, like certain people that you don't gel with, and they're not their people, but they follow you and they comment on your stuff or they like your stuff, and you're wondering what their agenda is. There's a mistrust of people being in your business, Taurus. The devil, exactly. Paranoia, obsession. You feel like some people are sort of obsessed with picking fights. The Sun, glorious. Oh, the 6 of Cups. Wow, actually, Taurus. Interesting. Now, some of you are just going home for the holidays. That's what that is. Judgment. Perfect. You're coming out of this a tough cookie, Taurus. You're following your calling. This is exactly what I wanted to see for you. You're embracing, because Judgment is Scorpio, you are embracing this energy like an absolute transformer, like Taurus-tron or whatever. Bulletron. Very glorious. Judgment just calls people out. It is that rebirth. It is perfect 8th house energy. Following your inner calling. It's absolution. It's vibrating at a higher frequency. It is knowing you found a calling, knowing you found a cause, knowing you have something that you really want to work towards. You're on the right path. And interestingly, your people are revealing themselves to you this month, Taurus. Your bonds are getting stronger if they're worth your time, and the ones that aren't are being cut off. They're the weak links that you're just shedding. You're not interested in people that are going to be backwards thinkers, people that are stuck in the past, people that are not progressive, people that don't see the bigger picture. You're fighting for something important. And I know that for a lot of you, this doesn't sound wildly like a love reading, but love is important. If you're in your relationships, you need to make sure that they want something better for you in the future as a couple. And sometimes you could be finding yourself involved with people, Taurus, who are, especially as we move into Capricorn season, it's your 9th house, you could fall in love with intellectuals, people from different cultures, and you maybe understand better some of their struggles. And it ignites a passion in you where you want to help them. This is really beautiful. A lot of you are meeting a soulmate, like a spiritual soulmate. Someone who speaks to your heart and someone who speaks to your mind, and you're just so completely seduced by this person because they have such a beautiful energy. You have something bigger, Taurus. There's something that is calling to you. Really, really big energy, to be honest. It's like you have this good fight that you want to fight. And you're not to give up, Taurus, because there's something important in you that you can really make happen this month. You know you have a calling. You know that there's something that you really, really, really want to do. And if it's an addiction that's held you back, if it's someone else's addiction, if it's somebody else's obsession, if it's being stuck in unhealthy relationships, unhealthy patterns, in unhealthy environments, you're getting out. You really are. You're getting out into something a lot more cozy, but worthwhile. 6 of Cups is soulmate energy. Judging soulmate energy. Finding your true person. And if it's going to be small, which I don't feel like it is, at its smallest, it's recognizing when you see your person. It's recognizing when you see the path that you're meant to be going down. Maybe it's just the beginning. Maybe it's the baby step. I don't personally feel like it is. I feel like it's bigger. It's like this fog clears and you finally understand why you're here. And that sounds big. I know that sounds massive. And that's maybe a bit of a big statement to make. But with the Sun and Jupiter in this sector of this, this hasn't been there for 12 years, Taurus. So I guess, if it was going to happen anytime, it's going to happen now. You have a cause, you have a purpose, you have something that makes you special. And maybe it is something to do with the government or the legal system or the financial system or, fighting a deep, dark cause that's sometimes being taboo. You look back in history, you see the injustice and you think, I want to help. I want to do something different for that, or I just want to be a better person. Whatever it is, Taurus, you're involved in something bigger than you. But it's what makes you wonderful. And if you've been selling yourself in relationships that were unhealthy, a lot of them were based on alcohol, a lot of them were based on, just getting along with things for the sake of having a person. A lot of you were involved with people who were possibly more to do with sexual attraction than anything worthwhile. They weren't committal. They were all about the Ace of Wands energy. And that may be because the Sun's moving into the 8th house, which is the sign of sex. You may reassess your relationship with intimacy. Are you just, seeing it as something to pass the time that's not quite right for you? It's about addressing that level of what you deserve. Why give everything to someone who's just going to leave you high and dry and make you feel rejected? When you're one of Venus's kids, you're a child of Venus, Taurus. Jeepers. Beauty is something that comes naturally to you as a person. Romance is something that comes naturally to you as a person. Don't let people into your life that take that away from you, that just want to be in the beautiful sensual aura of a Taurus person. And if you're cross-watching this, because I get a lot of emails of people saying, I can't believe you said that this was this way or whatever. This can go in reverse. You know, if you're cross-watching this, the odds are this wasn't meant to find the person you're watching for. Do you know what I mean? And these are meant to find the people they're meant for. So don't take it that way. You know? Don't take it personally. It's not necessarily meant for them, which means it's not meant for you. So don't worry about it. It's just that for you guys that are Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whatever, it's where you're finding that connection. It's all about the connection that you know you're intuitively guided to. Your intuition is guiding you to something bigger. The messages that need to find you this month, Taurus, are going to find you. Once Mercury goes direct on the 7th, it's going to exit the shadow period on December 24th. But until then, you know, the shadow period's not as intense anyway. There's a higher calling that you're not quite embracing, but you start to embrace it this month, Taurus. You find a way of getting back on the right path. So I'm going to draw some goddess guidance cards for Taurus. Let's see. Sensitivity. You're becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. Well, I just told you that. Especially if they're the devils. These two seem to flick. Golden opportunity. Important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. It's you told. Infinite supply. You're supplied for today and all of your tomorrow. And I couldn't help but notice. Isult, undying love. You have the love you shared is eternal regardless of the situation. So there you have it, Taurus. A bit of a life changer this month. And you may think that whenever you're going through a life-changing period, it has to be all singing, all dancing, drama. But the real life-changing moments occur quietly. You know, you notice that you're changing. And for a fixed sign, it may feel a little different. It may feel like you're coming into your own in a new person. There's a new sense of confidence surrounding you. So maybe it's been a slow but steady grow, and now it's here. But people are going to notice. People are going to notice your energy shift. And they're going to notice that you have a purpose, and you'll be damned if you let it pass you by. So that is as much as I have to say on that, because I feel like I've gone on for quite a bit, Taurus. But don't forget to check out your moon and rising if that did not resonate. And I really hope you enjoyed that reading. We're going to be back in the mid-monthlies for some more readings. But before I go, just bear in mind with me one moment. With Capricorn energy, the 21st, and then we have this glorious full moon in Cancer, which for you guys is all about your communication, how you interact with others, messages. Just bear in mind that full moon is going to bring around possibly some very important messages through mail, through phone. It may bring some very interesting news that illuminates around that full moon. In fact, it might be that full moon in particular that brings about this. But with the Capricorn energy, it's going to be higher thinking, it's going to be higher purpose, you're going to be in a higher frequency, people are going to want to be in your glow. The right people are going to reveal themselves to you, Taurus, and they're going to assist you in whatever it is that you need to do. You don't need to feel trapped or restricted. every person that's ever done something really worthwhile in this world is still a person. There was nothing that separated them from anybody else, okay? You're capable of very big things, Taurus. Don't want you to underestimate yourself. This seems to be powerful 8th house energy for you. As I say, Jupiter, it's going to be the energy going on for the next year. It's a blessing. And it's going to be sending you in right directions. It's going to be sending you all over the place, doing different jobs, doing different roles, doing different... it's going to be the year where you really feel like you're getting on track with what it is that is most important to you in the world. Just an FYI. I hope you enjoyed that reading, Taurus. I will talk to you in mid-December. And I love you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.